I'm Bennett Shear, and before we get into this 100th episode of American Idol Unaired, I just attended the past 2 episode tapings of American Idol, and it's been a dream of mine since season 8 of the show when I started watching. It was so full circle because the first taping, Adam Lambert performed and he was a mentor. It kind of worked out perfectly. And then the second taping, I got to watch even more incredible performances. I got to see a judge's save everything you saw on TV. And if you've ever been to a taping, you know how incredible it is to be at that live show. But I want to give a shout out to somebody who I have talked about many times on this podcast and couldn't be more honored and thrilled that this is coming at the time of our 100th episode. Megan Michaels Wolflick is the showrunner and executive producer of American Idol. She has worked on the show since season 2 when Ruben Studdard won. She's worked her way up ever since and, again, is now the showrunner. Megan is someone that I've looked up to for so long. She's one of my idols, and I got to meet her last night. I could not believe when I just saw her walking out of the studio, and I credit my mom who said you should talk to her, but I guess I just took the opportunity, and I just was starstruck, to be honest, because she told me that she had heard of the podcast, and I'm thinking, like, the person who runs American Idol, I won't go on too long, but you can imagine how honored I was to just know that Megan had heard of what I do, and I'm just so appreciative that she took the time to talk to me as she was leaving after putting on such an incredible show, 2 shows in a row. And I'm never going to forget that. I'll never forget the entire American Idol live show experience, to get to have the opportunity to go not 1, but 2 times. Josh Randall, who is the warm-up host and a casting producer, who was really helpful in the process of getting me tickets. And he was a guest on one of our episodes, if you want to go back in the vault of American Idol Unaired. I even saw Audrey Pinewright in the audience. She was one of our guests too. She's another casting producer. So there's just so many people. I even saw Sir Blake at one of the shows. He was on season 20, and he's the most down-to-earth, genuine, nice guy. Megan, if you ever see this, please just know that meeting you and getting to talk to you for that amount of time, I even had to ask my mom everything that was said, because I think in the moment I was just so shocked. All I know is that I couldn't be more grateful that you took the time to be so kind. Icing on the cake is we saw Lionel Richie driving off in his car. Well, of course, he wasn't driving. But long story short, it was the most incredible 2 days. And without further ado, our guest today, well, you'll hear her in just a second, but Ashley Tankard, who you saw this season, has tried out for the show. Well, you'll hear how many times. This is going to be really fun. So let's get into the 100th episode of American Idol Unaired.
It's an aired exception. If you guys don't know American Idol Unaired, we talk to the singers that you didn't see on American Idol, but we also meet the contestants who you saw. We're in season 21 right now. You definitely know Ashley Tankard. So again, could not be more honored that you're joining us for this 100th episode, Ashley.
Oh my God, I'm honored.
How are you?
I'm okay. Just living life after Idol.
How is life after Idol? Describe it in 3 words.
Stressful, fun, maybe confusing.
Let's unpack the fun first. What's the most fun thing about life after Idol?
The most fun thing about life after Idol is not feeling the panic about what is going to be shown on TV. So I get to kind of live and not panic.
Okay. So that kind of goes maybe hand in hand with some of the stress, I'm guessing. Yeah. And then confusion. Tell me about that.
Well, number one, after the Hollywood episode aired, I was confused because in a bad way, like there's no good way to be confused, but I was just really confused because like I felt like the support I had was like cut in half when I got eliminated. So I was like, I don't know, did they just find it awkward to say something to me, or nobody's obligated to say anything, but it was just weird. I don't know. I just felt really, yeah.
Any contestant goes on American Idol, it's kind of a huge change, right? You auditioned for the show. We were talking before. How many times you just told me, you think?
Okay, so I'm going to give you an estimate because I went into my email to check and see how many times. And I counted 21, but that did not include the times I went in person or the times I didn't hear anything back. So it was definitely more than 15.
So like 21 for season 21, like a
Oh my God.
perfect matchup, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that it made you not take it for granted in a way that maybe someone who had just kind of walked into it, like, you know, you obviously had maybe been through it more as someone who had tried so many times, you know, unique experience for you having gone through that so much, right?
Yeah. Very unique.
Which city did you end up going to?
So I went to Las Vegas and the producer actually asked me, she was like, I think she asked me, I don't know what she asked me, but I made sure I told her I wanted to do the first city. And that's when she told me like she was going to get back with me on what city it is. And I found out it was Las Vegas a couple of days later. So I was in Las Vegas.
What did the preparation look like? Because as I said, I mean, I'm sure there was a sense of like, wow, like I worked so hard to get here. Now I'm really gonna make sure this audition kills, right?
So I actually did not properly prepare for this audition. Properly preparing would look like going to sing in front of as many people as I can. Like just I don't know, but I just didn't do that.
Uh-huh.
Just focused on the song choices more than the performance. But I wanted to make sure the song was perfect. I did end up singing "You Broke Me First," which I regret, but it's okay. Yeah, I did not prepare at all, like properly for this audition.
Interesting. So do you think there's anything you would have changed about the process before?
I think I don't even know. Probably the only thing I would change would just be like trying to shake my nerves out and like actually singing because I did not sing in front of people. I think I sing in front of people once a year before American Idol. And American Idol judges audition was my once a year for 2022. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I know this is skipping way ahead because I want to talk about post style a little bit later, but I mean, do you have plans to do more performances in front of people?
So I have been working on that. I kind of do a few open mics. I want to start being consistent with that. And I slowly feel my nerves going away, but I'm not at the level I want to be. So I'm definitely working on it.
But being on TV was a big step, I feel like, for putting yourself out there.
But I wouldn't recommend going from singing in front of nobody to singing in front of a billion people. Like, no.
Yeah, you just threw yourself right in the ringer,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
What was the atmosphere like as far as being around other people, meeting the other contestants? Are you a social butterfly? Did you get anxious?
When I tell you, I got off the plane in Las Vegas and instantly felt so much anxiety because I knew I would be meeting the other contestants at the airport. I don't remember who I saw exactly at the airport, but when I got on the shuttle, I don't know, it was weird. There was a different group that I saw, but then there was a different group who went on the shuttle. So it was very weird. But on the shuttle, I do remember Trey Lewis.
Yes. Trey
Trey
from
from
the
the Bay,
Bay.
a huge personality. And I was like, this man has got to sing well because his country accent is just like so thick. Like I know he can sing. Um, but it was maybe like 6 or 7 people on the shuttle, and I was panicking because my sister came with me, but she wasn't on the shuttle with me because I wasn't a minor. So I was just sitting in the front of the shuttle, like trying not to cry. Like, oh my God, it was so bad. It was so
Did you
yeah.
eventually get to like connect with people and get to know them and make friends in the auditions, or did it take a little bit longer at either Hollywood Week or after the show, or what did that look like?
So actually the first person I talked to, oh my God, the first person I talked to from American Idol, Aubrey Camp and her dad were sitting next to me on the shuttle. And I was just over there being quiet and they asked me where I was from. Oh my God, I remember that. And I think that's what really opened up my socialness.
Uh,
I was not gonna say anything to anybody. I was so scared. Yeah. But then like it took me a very short amount of time to actually open up and just like apparently I couldn't stop talking And I think I do that when I'm nervous. I was a nervous wreck. I just could not stop talking, and I don't know. People found it funny, but I'm like, guys, I'm just really nervous. I'm not trying to be funny. I just can't stop rambling. Yeah.
I think that it's interesting. I've started to meet more people that I feel like this season may have gone into it with this a little bit more anxiety, because it is a big thing to go into an arena, if you will, full of people
Yeah.
that you don't know, and you're opening up to them. It's nothing against them because you don't know them. It's just like opening up to people is
Yeah.
a big deal for a lot of people. It's vulnerable.
It was a huge deal for me. Like it was a lot of people there. It was a lot. And I remember the first day of filming, I saw a majority of the contestants. I think it wasn't even all of them, because there were a total of, I think, 4 days of auditions.
Mm-hmm.
Just a handful of the contestants. We all met at the front of the hotel, and I'm over there freaking out because I'm like, number one, they were all dressed to impress, and I was in ripped jeans and a Macy's t-shirt.
That's a cool look, though.
I was feeling so bad. Like, what am I wearing right now? And I was wearing a beanie in 99-degree weather. Yeah.
I think it was a cool look, and I mean, yeah, no, seriously. And is that that's the same beanie that you wore when you were on with Megan or Zoom?
Yeah.
A good luck beanie?
I think so. I think so. It might be. I gotta
Yeah,
go find.
and you got through the Hollywood. I mean, maybe it's a good
I
luck beanie.
know. I should have worn it in Hollywood. I regret it. Oh my god. I'm gonna wear it if I go back next time.
Or it could be like I mean, just to switch it up, you could have different color beanies every round, so they could keep America on their toes. What color is she gonna wear next?
Oh my god. I think you're onto something.
It could be part of your merch too, outside of Idol, and people could collect them all. That's a way to rack in. That's a way to rack in some cash. I mean, you know, you want red, orange, green, the whole rainbow. Like,
Wait, I actually like this idea. And I love beanies. I'm gonna remember that.
it'd be like super like cringy to like call your fans your beanie babies. Like, that's like the big thing with like our generation. I mean, I didn't even collect them. I was into Webkins, but I like beanie babies too.
That's hilarious. I'm definitely gonna remember that. Oh my god.
I get all kinds of wacky ideas just from. I'm not a singer, but I feel like interviewing singers has made me try to put a marketing hat on or a marketing beanie on a little bit.
You're good at it.
Oh, thank you. How did you enjoy, or did you enjoy, not enjoy, getting interviewed when you were filming your auditions?
Oh my god. I thought that I was gonna have a full-blown panic attack. So it was very weird. When they told me I was getting ready to go in for an interview, my brain didn't comprehend what that meant. I didn't think cameras, lights, like I didn't think all that. I just thought interview with the producer and me. I go inside the room, there's this giant light, a microphone at the top, like 2 other producers surrounding. I'm like, oh my god, what is this? So I started getting nervous, and then like they instantly made me feel comfortable. So once I sat down, I was like, okay, I'm ready. But I still was nervous, so much so that I was like pulling out the fabric on my jeans. It was just ill. I was so nervous. But the producers did a good job making me feel comfortable. They were kind of just like, it's just like we're having a conversation. Like, you don't even have to worry about the camera. Don't even look at the camera. So I kind of got non-nervous. Is that a thing? I got non-nervous after maybe like 5 minutes of the interview. Yeah.
Did you not look at the camera, or did you forget that it was there? Was it was easy, natural?
I actually didn't look at the camera. Number one, they told us not to. And number two, I was kind of just like trying not to make eye contact with the producer because that's just really awkward. So I was kind of just looking all over the place. They didn't put that in the episode, but I was like looking over. I didn't look at the producer. It was awkward. Yeah.
What about B-roll? Did you film that?
10-10, the most awkward thing I have ever done in my entire life. imagine like 15 people surrounding you and they tell you to go to the back of the room and walk in and look around and act excited while everyone's watching you. Nobody's saying anything. They're just watching you walk in. Oh my God. And then just stand by the window and look out the window, look at the scenery. That is awkward.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was cringing the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
Even a producer had to pull me aside. She's like, it's okay. You got this. Like, oh my God, it was so ugly.
I think every contestant has their own awkward B-roll experience.
Every single piece of B-roll was so. I don't ever want to go through that again. Oh my God. Yeah.
Long hours. What day? Do you remember which day that you filmed your audition?
So I auditioned on day 3, which is a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And on day 1, I didn't really have to go in the holding room. But on day 2, and definitely on day 3, we had to sit in the holding room just to like, for TV purposes, so we could make the holding room look full, I guess. It was definitely long hours. I don't even know how many hours it was. But it was nighttime by the time I got back in my hotel room. So, yeah.
Yeah, and what, like, are you at this point? I know I asked about sort of the social interactions, but keeping to yourself, talking to other people, singing with other people, like the guitar circles. What's the vibe like for you in the holding room?
So I was kind of, like I said, my sister was with me, so I felt more comfortable talking to people. But I was kind of the one who was like recording everything and
Okay.
not like interacting. I
Documenting.
did like jump in a few of the singing segments that Lucy Love started. She's amazing. But I didn't really participate because I was just like, I'll just sit back and watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're recording everything, documenting everything. Are you someone that likes to kind of have those memories and like record them when you go places?
Yeah. I've literally looked over all my American Idol memories. I don't even know how many times. Like, I just go back and reminisce and just like, it just makes me feel so like, I don't know. It makes me feel happy going back to look at the memories that I recorded or took pictures of. Because that was probably one of the happiest times of my life. Like, it was just, I don't know, it was so cool.
I like seeing the joy when you talk about it because I noticed when we started, you were saying like the 3 sort of feelings. There was fun, but then there was like stress and confusion.
Yeah.
I feel like the more you break it down, now you're getting to like the fun
Yeah.
and the joy and everything because you work so hard to get there. And I mean, you had a good time, right?
Yeah. I've had the best time of my life. And the people in Vegas, I'm not gonna lie, and I think everybody was saying this, how they expected people to be like stuck up or mean or thinking that they're better than everyone. Everybody was so nice. Like some of the best things I've ever heard were the most down to earth people. Oh my God. It was unbelievable, actually.
Aw. Do you have any other stories about friends you made or people you met in Vegas?
Oh my God, I met so many. Of course, Lucy Love. She, oh my God, sweetest person ever been in. I have a story about Lucy. It's probably one of my favorite memories. But it's in Hollywood. I don't know if you want me to go that far.
We can go wherever. We can go veer any direction.
Let me tell you, like, I knew, like, I loved Lucy in Vegas. When we went to Hollywood, I was stressed about performing, first of all, and we'll get there. But I was really stressed about performing, and I went out on stage. First of all, I heard Lucy sing, and I'm like, what the heck am I doing here? And I was sitting in the audience like, what is going on right now? Did you see her performance?
Tore it up.
Yeah. So I went out finally to perform, completely wrecked the performance.
Don't say that. They only showed 0.2 seconds. They do that for television. We'll get there, but they do that for television.
Well, I just think it wasn't good. So I ran backstage, and before I ran backstage, Katie like smiled at me. I'm like, that's not a good smile. No, it's not. So I ran backstage, and the producer called me over to the camera to try to capture my emotions. I was like, that was not good, but I really want to make it through. I knew in my heart I was not going to make it through. But Lucy's line was actually about to go out to be judged. So I ran back there, started sobbing, and she was the sweetest person. Like, even though I didn't do well, she said everything to make me feel like I did. And I'm like, oh my God, I really need to hear this right now because I feel like I want to just crawl into a hole and never come out. She told me, she was like, you didn't hear what we heard. Like, you did amazing, blah, blah. And everybody else was just so nice to me. And she was just giving me a hug. I'm like, oh my God, this is so ugly. I hope they don't get this on camera. But that's when I was like, oh my God, Lucy is like, everyone called her the mama bear. Like, she's like, oh my God, I love her. I was so freaking excited to go to Hollywood. Before my audition, I was about to get evicted from my apartment. And it was either stay in North Carolina and work my butt off until I get my rent caught up or go audition for American Idol in front of the judges. And it's silly, but I chose to go to American Idol. So a couple of months went by and it was November 30th, my birthday. Came home from work, eviction notice on my door, and I'm like, oh crap. Like, so I'm reading it, I'm like, oh my God, how am I supposed to go to Hollywood? Hollywood is literally 2 days away, December 2nd. How am I supposed to fly to Hollywood? And I have to leave this apartment. Like, what am I supposed to do? So I literally packed up my whole apartment, put it in a storage unit, packed up my suitcase, 2 suitcases, because it was half the stuff I wanted to wear in Hollywood and half stuff that I just had to take with me from my apartment. So I packed that up and I flew out from an empty apartment to California. And I was like, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I know that everything happens for a reason. So I left at 3 a.m. from my apartment. I was really sad, but I'm like, I'm going to enjoy my time in Hollywood no matter what happens. Like, this is all happening for a reason. So I go to Hollywood and this is more people than in my audition city. Like, this is all the golden ticket winners. So I'm freaking the freak out. I actually felt like I instantly felt comfortable. I don't know. I guess it was just people were approaching me. Like, more people were approaching me this time. And it just made me feel comfortable. I don't know. It was very weird. Nobody knew what was going on in my personal life. Everybody on the outside just saw, oh my God, I'm so excited to be in Hollywood right now. Like, I've tried out so many times and I'm finally in Hollywood. So the entire time I was in Hollywood, thank God we didn't have roommates. Like, I had my own hotel room because I was crying my eyes out every single second I was in the hotel room. Because I'm like, there's no way I'm ready for this. Like, there's absolutely no way. So I think that it started getting real when we had our first Zoom call meeting. We had a Zoom call meeting and they were basically going over everything that was going to happen for Hollywood. And I was like, what the heck am I doing here? Like, why am I here right now? My life is in shambles back at home. I don't have a place to live. Like, why am I at American Idol right now? So when I had rehearsal, which was like, I think it was the first day, actually. The first day I got in Hollywood, we went down to rehearsal. And that's when I, like, kind of started talking more to people because we were just sitting outside the rehearsal room waiting. So I went inside the rehearsal room with Bradley Brown. Oh, my God, he's so nice.
He never talks on the show. They never show him talking.
Listen, I didn't know he was that quiet. But he's really that quiet. He doesn't, oh, my God, he's so nice.
Maybe it's, like, the nicest, most talented people that are always just, like, so low-key, you know?
Literally. So I went inside the rehearsal room, and a little context, I actually changed my song at the very last minute that we had to send our song in. I changed my song. It was a Tori Kelly song. I changed it to Stars by Grace Potter because I was like, I'm too nervous to nail a Tori Kelly song, so I don't want to make myself look worse than I already know I'm going to look. So I changed it to a song that sounded easier. We all see how that turned out. But when I went inside the rehearsal room, I was a nervous wreck. So I'm like, it's actually starting to get real. This is a song that I'm about to sing in front of the judges and my competition. And there's people outside the rehearsal room listening to me. So I was just nervous. And when I started singing, it sounded really, really bad. I think he gave me a motivational speech. I was like, okay, I wish I would have recorded it. Like, he was so nice. I was like, okay, like I think I can do this. So I sang again. It sounded good. I have a voice recording of it. I actually really triggered when I listened to it. I left rehearsal, went back to my hotel room, started sobbing again. So I'm like, yeah. Like, and at the same time, I was texting my sisters, like, so excited, calling them every single second, like, oh my God, this just happened, this just happened. But really, I was so stressed. Like, I was so stressed. And then I went to go try to hurry up and get something to eat because I didn't know what was going to happen next. So as I'm walking to Chick-fil-A, Bennett, as I'm walking to Chick-fil-A, I freaking see Justin Guarini walking past me nonchalant, drinking a milkshake from Chick-fil-A. So I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, I'm really in LA right now. But then it clicked me. Oh my God, he's probably a mentor. So now I started freaking out.
Because they didn't tell you beforehand.
No, we had no clue who our mentors was.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I saw him and I was like, wait, is this real? Like, what is going on? So then I walked to Chick-fil-A, walked back to my hotel room, tried to give myself a pep talk. It did not work out. And the very next day, I think was, I don't know what the next day was. I think it was just filming. Fast forward to my performance day. Well, the day before performance. A lot of people didn't get mentored personally. They kind of handpicked people, and I was one of them. I was actually really happy to see who my mentor was. I kind of had a clue because the category I was in, it was Dave Archuleta and Clay Aiken. So we were all sitting outside, and the producer, we had no clue, but the producer was basically like, everybody give a hand for Clay Aiken and Dave Archuleta. I'm going crazy. I'm like, what the heck is going on right now? So, yeah, they walked out, and I noticed that Clay Aiken had on a shirt that said Raleigh. And, like, I'm from that area, Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. So I'm like, okay. And then while everything stopped, no recording is happening, he looks over at me and he shouts out. He's like, there's my Durham girl. And I was like,
wow.
What is going on right now? So then I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to be in his mentor session. So that same day, we went back to the holding room, and then they got me to come inside, or at least to be on standby to go inside and be mentored. But I didn't know. I didn't know if it was going to be David or Clay. So I'm sitting outside the room, and I'm panicking because I'm like, I feel like I'm about to audition again. Like, I don't know what's going to happen because they told me I had to sing for him. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm so scared right now. So they literally the producer came out the room and she was like, do you know what's about to happen right now? And I was like shaking. I was like, yeah, I must be mentored right now. And then they basically started talking like really, really fast and just like shoved me in the room. And I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? I opened the door and this Clay Aiken was like, what the heck? He gives me a really welcoming hug. He is so nice. But then really quickly into the mentor, he's like really firm. And I'm just like, I'm scared of you. Like, I'm scared. But then he ended up being like really, really nice and gave me some really good advice that I still remember. One of the things he told me to do was fake the confidence until it's actually real. I tried to do it. It did not work out, but at least I tried. Yeah, he gave me really good advice, and I actually left the mentor session like really confused because one moment he was being really like firm with me, and the next moment he was being really soft. So I was like, I have mixed feelings. I'm so confused right now, and I'm probably gonna go to my hotel room and cry, which I did. So, yeah, it was very interesting. And then I saw Katie Turner, and I snuck a video of her. Anyway,
Hold on. Questions. No, okay. Wait, did you like talk to her or just like watch her give words of wisdom to other people or?
So, funny story, which is really short. I'm not going to ramble. I was actually taking pictures with Isaiah Tart. You should interview him. And Michael Williams. They were helping me like take footage to post, which was really awkward. Like, I just don't like when people take stuff with me. It was just really weird. So while we were there, Katie and another contestant were coming out, and the producer was like, yeah, we have to film right here. So I'm like, that's Katie Turner. Like, what the heck? So we had to move to the side, and I pulled on my phone, and I just zoomed in and started recording. So then after that, I went back to my hotel room and we had a Zoom call to let us know the order we were going to be performing in, or if we were in day 1 or day 2. So I got on a Zoom call. I was freaking the freak out because I'm like, Lord, please do not let them call my name for day 1 because day 1 was tomorrow, the next day. So I'm like, I just want to see what it's like before. Like, I just want to see. I was in line 5 of day
Day
1.
one.
And then, oh my God, before I forget, there's so many people I want to shout out who have like supported me during my American Idol journey. But I would love to shout out, what is it, season 20, Tobias Hill, aka.
Ooh, Prince.
I actually reached out to him. He didn't know I auditioned until I announced that I auditioned. But I reached out to him about Hollywood, not saying that I made it. I was kind of just like, he kind of knew, but I was like, what advice would you give someone who made it to Hollywood? And he, from that moment, he was literally like an angel sent from heaven. He literally helped me, gave me so much advice, listened to me complain about how nervous I was, encouraged me throughout the whole thing. Even while I was in Hollywood, I got back to my hotel room and I was sending him voice messages about how nervous I was about everything. And he gave me some really encouraging words. Like, he's literally the best. Shout out to you, Tobias. Thank you. Even though I already told you thank you. But yeah. So the next day was my performance day. And I woke up actually in tears. So I'm like, I don't got this. I don't. Like, I knew I was going home. And I'm actually glad I did go home. I'll get to that. But got all my stuff, and we were all lined up to go to the auditorium. But they were holding people back to do interviews. And I hadn't done an interview yet, so I was like, they're probably going to call me. So, and let me just say, the most awkward thing was when all the contestants were there, and they would single people out and be like, say here when I call your name. I hated that, Bennett. Like, it was so awkward. I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to say anything because everybody was listening to me. Ew.
Wait, like in school when they say here, like attendant, like roll call?
Yeah, and I didn't say here. I kind of just walked, so they called my name twice, and I felt so bad. I think that's really when I kind of like had some regrets because I talked about how I don't have anywhere to live. I talked about how I'm a nervous wreck and I don't think I'm going to make it, so being here is probably pointless, but I still want to be here, like, in a way. Like, yeah. So, and the person who was interviewing me, the sweetest lady, she even pulled me aside and encouraged me, which was the nice thing, because I was just sobbing. So, after that interview, we all took a van to the auditorium, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm literally about to walk into the Hollywood Week auditorium. Like, what the heck is going on? So I dried my eyes, pulled out my phone, started recording everything. And when I sat inside the auditorium, it's like my entire body got stiff. I thought I couldn't breathe. I was like, oh my God, like, I can't do this. There's no way I'm going to make it today. Like, I cannot. So that was about 9 a.m. I didn't perform until about 6 p.m. There were so many people. Oh my God. I got to know Megan Danielle. Oh my God. Let me tell you about this. Before we all went to the auditorium, this was one of the highlights of my American Idol journey. I was like crying my eyes out. And we were all like sitting in the breakfast area where we ate that morning of the first day of performances. And I was like, I just got done crying. I was sitting there amongst everyone, trying to hold back my tears because everybody's talking about what they're singing and how excited they are. I'm like, I do not belong here. I don't need to be here right now. And I was in a group chat with Haven Madison, Megan Danielle, Kaylee's, and the group chat was created by Haven so that we could all like pray together during Hollywood. It's just like, yeah, it was the sweetest gesture ever. And of course, we didn't get to see Haven much because she's a minor, which sucks. But yeah,
She was in school.
Yeah, she was in school. I was sitting across from Kay and Megan at the table, and I guess like Kay noticed that I was crying, And she texted in the group chat about, like, I think she said something along the lines of, like, you look upset, but, like, you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. Something like that. And I texted in the group chat. I said, BRB. And I darted to the restroom and just sobbed my eyes out. Oh, my God. I cried my eyes out because I'm like, there's no way on earth I will be able to just, like, compete today. Like, I cannot. I was almost about to go ask, can I do it the next day? Like, yeah. So then Megan and Kay came in the restroom as I was crying my eyes out, and they prayed with me, Bennett. And that was the sweetest thing ever. It did make me feel better, although I was still kind of on the fence about the whole thing. Like, them just praying with me and just embracing me in that moment just felt... It did not even feel like a competition. Like, what competition do you know? Your competition is praying for you because you're nervous. That was definitely the highlight, and I will literally tell that story to anyone I can because they are the sweetest people, and they're so talented, and I can't believe Kay didn't make it. Like, I didn't hear her performance because I was gone at the time. Like, I was back at the hotel. But apparently everybody said she killed it. I know she killed it because she's an amazing singer. But I can't believe she didn't make it. But, like, we're both cheering on Haven and Megan because they are literally freaking amazing. Let me tell you about when I got eliminated. So the person who was, like, interviewing me backstage, she kind of was just, like, asking me, do you think you made it to the next round? And she wanted me to say, I feel like she wanted me to say yes. I was not going to say yes because I'm like, I don't think I made it to the next round. I'm not going to say yes. So I went out. We all went out in the line. And I'm like, I don't even want to look at the judges right now. Because while I was singing, Luke was mean-mugging me the whole time. The whole time. I don't know if you saw the face he made during Hollywood. Like, when I was singing, I was like, I'm not going to look at the judges. And I accidentally looked at Luke. And I accidentally looked at Lionel. And I'm like, yeah, it's over for me. I'm not. I think the first two notes that came out of my mouth were okay. But then I looked at the judges and it was over. So I ran backstage. All of that happened. And then my line was actually going back out to get judged. All I can remember was looking at the tape on the floor as where I'm about to stand. I feel like I was getting dizzy. I was like, oh my God, you better not pass out. This is going to be good TV. You better not pass out on this camera. So I was getting dizzy. I was trying to hold myself together. And I was like, do not look at the judges. Do not look at the judges. I looked at Katie. She gave me the biggest smile. And I'm like, that is not a good smile. That is a sympathy smile. And I am going home right now. Like, I just know it. And what she said was, first of all, she went down the room, called all of our names. And that's like, I didn't want to make eye contact, but I had to. What was I about to say? Oh, so what she said was, she basically said, a lot of you guys took our critiques from auditions, and we really appreciate that, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, do I have hope? Like, I'm asking myself in my head, like, do I have hope to make it? I knew there wasn't any hope. So I was just holding my breath, waiting for them to say you're going home. And I feel like that's why I didn't react as badly. Like, I could have reacted worse if I did not expect. If I knew I did well and got sent home, I would have probably reacted worse. But I knew that I did awful. So I kind of just accepted it. And when she called people forward, she basically said, you're not going to like what I'm about to say. And when she said that to the front row, I'm like, there's no way she's sending them home because it was Haven, McKinley Brown. Like, you're not going to send, no, not after what they just did. So she said, you're not going to like what I'm about to say. You're actually going to love what I'm about to say. So I'm like, oh, crap. It's over for the back row. It was me and another person in the back row. I don't know who it was. But, yeah, it was me and one more person in the back row. So I'm like, yeah, it's over. So when she said, you're going through, and then she said, back row, thank you. It's the end of your journey. And I felt my heart, like, drop. Oh, my God. It was the worst feeling in the world. Like, I knew I was going home. But, like, to actually have it confirmed, it was terrible. And let's not forget, the reason I was also a nervous wreck going out on stage, the guy who went out before me, I don't know his name for the life of me. I do not know his name. I don't know why. But he went out and he sang the song. I think he was aired. He sang the song that Noah Thompson sang in his audition.
Oh, giving you up.
Yeah. And next thing I know, I'm backstage about to go out. Noah Thompson walks on the stage and surprises everyone. He comes back and I'm like, that's freaking Noah Thompson, like standing right here. What the heck? And then the producer tells Noah, she's like, Ashley's a big fan. Like, why don't you give her words of encouragement? She's about to go perform. I'm like, y'all know what y'all are doing. I am a nervous wreck, and now I'm even more nervous because Noah Thompson is talking to me. Like, what the heck? And Noah was the sweetest human being on the planet. Oh my God. He literally gave me so much good advice in like 30 seconds. He gave me 80 billion hugs. I'm like, oh my God, Noah, I love you. And then next thing I know, I'm walking out on stage and I'm like, yeah, I don't know how this is going to work.
You met Noah Thompson. Do you remember what he said to you? That's a whirlwind. I mean, it was in 30 seconds.
It was basically kind of just like, go out there and be yourself. It's okay. I know how you feel. Like, I was nervous too. Just do your best. No matter what happens, you're still amazing. He told me he loved me.
Aw.
Oh my God, I love you, Noah. Anyway, yeah, so when I got eliminated, I literally felt like it got dark in the theater and I was just looking down. I was like, oh my God, I just get me out of here. Get the cameras out of my face. But I didn't make a scene like some people do. They like run away from the camera. Like, I didn't want to make a scene like that. So I kind of just cooperated and I walked down the aisle as they do all the time. And I was the first person to go out to do an exit interview. And like right as soon as I open the door, there's a camera. And I just start sobbing. And I was like, I can't even talk. And then the producer gives me a hug and she's like, we're just gonna talk for a few seconds. And I'm like, I can't talk. It was so ugly. And then I had to do another interview right across the way from the first interview. And I literally could not talk. Like, I literally could not talk. I was just crying my eyes out. It was probably the worst I've ever cried because it was just so embarrassing knowing that I sounded awful in front of such amazing people. And then I got eliminated in front of such amazing people. It was embarrassing.
You did everything that you could and you did your absolute best, right?
I don't think it was my best. I feel like there's no way I can't not be nervous. But it's just, I wasn't nervous. I think like, you see my Instagram videos. If I was just in some way not nervous like I am in my Instagram videos, I would have done fine.
But there's just so much pressure set up. Like they make it that way and it's like there's every ingredient for everybody where they're trying to make it so it's set up to be very challenging, you know?
It was very challenging. Oh my God. I was battling social anxiety the whole time. I was going back and forth with my brain about why the heck I'm there. I was worried about where I'm going to live if I get eliminated. Like, yeah. So it was a lot going on and I was not ready. And I feel like since I tried out so many times and they finally told me I made it on the show, I just took that opportunity. Even though I wasn't ready, I just kind of took the opportunity. And I feel like if I would have just taken the time to sing in front of people and get all my nerves out, like I would have done a billion times better than I did in my audition and in Hollywood. But I just wasn't ready, man.
But are you happy that you did try out for the season and that you made it and aired?
When I think about American Idol, I don't even think about the competition. Like, I'm happy I did American Idol because my life literally, oh my God, I'm literally about to cry, Bennett. I'm about to cry right now. Number one, the competition is a competition, but the people I met have literally changed my life. Oh my God. I will be sitting here all night telling you each person I met and what impact they have had on me since I've met them. We'll be sitting here all night. It's like, and I feel like that's what everyone says. The people are much better than the competition. And that's what I would have to say about it. Like, I am so happy I did American Idol. I'm glad I didn't say no to singing for the judges, even though I was not ready. I'm so glad I went through with it. Number one, it pushed me. Because, like I said in my exit interview for Hollywood, I would have never been able to do this even last year. Like, I would have never been able to stand in front of cameras and talk to millions of people. I would have never been able to sing in front of celebrity judges. Like, I am so glad I did it because now I know that I can do it. And I do plan on going back. I do. I don't know if that was going to be a question. I 100% plan on going back. Now I know, number one, what to look forward to, like everything behind the scenes. I know what to expect. And now I have the confidence to do it. Not 100%, but going inside the judges room for the first time, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't even know which way to look for the judges because, like, it was a door and there's like the backdrop thing. I was gonna go on the other side of the backdrop because I thought that's where they were. So embarrassing. But then I see the judges, and I'm like, I didn't even expect for the room to be. The room was tiny, and it looks huge on camera, but the room was tiny. First of all, and there were like multiple producers in the room. I'm like, what the heck? I didn't expect any of this. But now when I go back, I know what to expect. I know to expect that there's a speaker in the room, in the audition room, and the producers, I thought the producers were talking to me because the speaker was on the left side, and that's where the producers were. So I kept looking over there. I'm like, wait, what's going on? But it was really Lionel Richie. Did I tell you? A part that was not aired in my audition. It was probably the best and most awkward part of my American Idol journey ever. Let me tell you again. I've been going in the audition room, freaking the freak out. My arms have never tingled. They were tingling mad hard in it. My arms were tingling. My knees, I thought I was going to pass out. My knees were weak. I could not feel my feet. Like, oh my God, it was the craziest feeling in the world. So I walk in the middle of the floor. I think Luke Bryan freaking says, I guess all of y'all are wearing ripped jeans today. That's the first thing that comes out of your mouth when I'm in the audition room. What is going on?
Luke said that?
Luke said that.
I thought you said, what was the Lionel thing?
He was out to get me from the very beginning. Do you hear me? I was having a whole nervous fit in the middle of the floor for a good 5 minutes. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, I could not believe this is happening. And that's when Katie was like, what's going on? You having a freak out? And I was like, yeah! And then next thing I know, Lionel Richie gets up and comes up to me. So I'm like, you're not making it better. Like, you're Lionel Richie. I'm a nervous wreck. And you're touching my shoulders to try to calm me down. This is not making it any better. You're actually making it worse. And then he's like, let's take deep breaths. So he started
Did you tell him that he was making it worse? You didn't tell him that, right? Okay.
No, ew. So he's like, let's breathe. Let's breathe 5 times. So we take deep breaths together. I'm like, this is so awkward. And I was shaking. He puts his hands on my shoulders. I think I have a picture of that on my Instagram. He puts his hands on my shoulders, and I was shaking so bad. Then Katie's like, do you need to scream in a pillow? And I was like, what? Man, she literally throws Lionel Richie's butt pillow at me and says, scream in it to get your nerves out. And I said, y'all are playing right now. Y'all are playing. Oh my God. I pick up the pillow, Bennett, and I scream, and Lionel Richie's right now. His butt touched my face. Think about it. It's his butt pillow. He sits on that thing for hours. Oh my God. And I didn't even wash my face after the audition. I went straight to interviews.
I think you sang your face off with that song, and even with that coaching. I mean, they know that
Really?
they pushed you.
I don't know. It just made me feel really, really good when she clapped for me after both times of me singing. Like, her and Lionel. Luke, he clapped like 2 seconds. But her and Lionel were like really cheering me on from the second I got in the room. I'm like, oh my God. I love all the judges, but like, Katie was really on my side. Like, she was really on my side. I was like, oh my God, I love you, Katie. But yeah, it really did make me feel good that Katie was encouraging me the way she was. And even Lionel, he said so much that was not aired. I wish it was, because I couldn't even tell you. Like, I can't even tell you what he said. When I went to go give them hugs, he literally like took me by the hands And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Lionel Richie is touching me right now. Like, what is happening? And then he starts saying all these things, and I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. You're just Lionel Richie talking to me, and I'm crying at the same time. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. Then that's when I run to get my golden ticket, and I run out the room and scream like a maniac. It was really confusing because a lot of comments were like, why did she get a second chance? This isn't the voice. Why is she being coached? She should have been told no. And I'm like, they give people second chances all the time. They coach people through their audition all the time. I don't know. It was just really weird to me why people were commenting that. I don't know.
Because they had nothing better to do than comment that.
That's true.
I see those Reddit threads. They have a lot of time on their hands.
Listen.
Not about you. They just have time.
I saw a Reddit thread of me. I'm like, I just need to get off the internet.
No, yeah, man, I do that stuff for research for the podcast, but as an artist, I mean, you got to be careful how much time you spend on the internet.
Many people told me beforehand, even the producers, do not read the comments. And what do? The night of my audition, I'm just scrolling through the comments.
Dude.
Oh, they were so awful.
But I get it, because it's like when your parent says, don't stay up past 9 o'clock when you're little, what do? You want to stay up till 9:30.
Like when people tell you how to do something, it just gives you the urge to want to do it more.
Yeah.
So I just read all of those comments, literally every single one. I even responded to a few, and then a few of them apologized because they were like, I went to your page, and I have to take that back. I'm really sorry. You have an amazing voice. Good luck in Hollywood. And I'm like, thank you, but like,
maybe don't say that in the first place.
Yeah. Now I realize, even though a billion people have been telling me, I realize that the negative comments really don't define who I am as a person or what I truly sound like as a singer or who I am as an artist. Like, they really don't. It's just that one little clip they saw of me. They literally don't know anything about me other than what was shown. So, like...
And the tough thing about American Idol or any of these shows is that it's one moment in time that gets captured and put on the internet, and people can watch that clip forever, and they, watch it for years to come. But as an artist, you're always evolving, and every artist is always changing or improving. And so they look at that one clip over and over again, even years down the line, and they're judging you based on that one clip or even two clips. So it's like, rather than just looking at you as an artist as a whole, like, why not take the time to go to your Instagram, look at all the covers, you know what I mean?
What I do. I give, like, people chances. When I'm watching shows and I, quote unquote, don't like someone's voice, I literally go to their Instagram and I'm like, holy crap, they were just nervous. Like, they can blow. I do that because I understand. But a lot of the trolls on the internet, they just don't care. They just comment whatever comes to their brain.
You really opened up about stuff that you were going through personally. You topped that in addition to the pressures of being on TV and singing in front of people when you hadn't had a lot of crowd work. I mean, my gosh, take all that stress and put it in the blender. Like, that's what it was probably like, right?
Exactly. And that's what I'm like, that's what I kept telling myself. Like, they don't understand what the heck you have to go through to get here. So you should not let those comments affect how you feel. I'm not gonna lie to you. I stayed in the bed for a good... I remember staying in the bed right after my audition aired. So sad. Because I'm like, I couldn't even get out the bed. I was so sad reading all those comments. They were just brutal. Like, this girl can't sing. My cat sounds better than her. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I am a human being with feelings, people. Like, oh my God. It was really bad.
This is exactly what, I don't know if you ever met, there's a contestant named Cameron Emery who I interviewed, and she was talking about...
I love her. Kev the Celeb.
She's so fun. Kev the Celeb. Iconic. She's awesome. I remember she was talking about this exactly. She's saying, I remember verbatim, she's like, I see a lot of people leaving these comments about my friends, and it's not nice because they don't understand. They don't get it.
Yeah. And I really can't believe the people, everybody who has aired has received rude comments. And I personally cannot believe it. They are so freaking amazing.
As are you.
Thank you. But like, I'm watching their auditions, I'm watching their performances, and people still have negative things to say. And I'm like, what? How do you have something negative to say about these people? Like, they're so amazing.
I remember what Cameron was also saying is there's one thing to have either just constructive criticism or like your opinions of like, well, these are my favorites, these are my favorites, but then to like rip into someone and say literally the cat comment, I think said the same thing. It's like people just have to take it to that level.
I really tried to comprehend why why they say these things. I really can't. Like,
because they're hurting.
Say they're bad people just because they make bad comments. But like,
they need more light in their life. Something is missing.
I cannot picture myself going under a post, let alone sending someone DMs. I've gotten so many terrible DMs. I cannot imagine myself doing that after somebody just put their entire life on social media and put their entire life on TV for millions of people to see, and just send them negative comments and negative messages. I cannot not imagine doing that. That's just like, how do people even?
I don't know. I'm trying to think about the positive too, and I think you inspired a lot of people who not only want to sing in general, but people that want to be on American Idol, because it shows and tells them that they just keep trying, you know?
The thing is, I was focused so much on the negative comments and the negative DMs. I went to my message requests. It was flooded with people telling me how much I inspired them to do Idol.
Right?
What is going on right now? Like, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Do you have any insight into past seasons, or is it more just the season that you made it to the judges that you kind of know about?
Oh my God, I literally remember every single season I auditioned for.
Yeah?
But the one, I think it was season 19 in 2020 during the pandemic is when they started Idol Across America. And that is the one I really remember because I just thought it would be easier for me to audition. I don't have to travel anywhere. I lived by myself at the time. I didn't have to worry about anybody listening to me audition. So I auditioned on August 16th, 2020. It was on a Sunday. I did skip church. Lord forgive me. But I skipped church that day to audition. And these were also really random songs I chose. I sang the Lazy Song by Bruno Mars. I did it on the piano. And then I also sang Paparazzi by Lady Gaga. And when I auditioned, I didn't know how it worked since it was the first time that Idol Across America happened. I didn't really know how it worked, so I didn't know if they were considering me or what. So when I auditioned, I kind of got bought into a what is it called? Breakout room on Zoom, like really quick. I thought I was gonna have to wait because there were so many people on the call. But I got bought into a breakout room really quick, and it was this really nice guy. I was really nervous because I'm like, I don't want another rejection again, but I feel like I'm gonna be comfortable because it's like on the phone. I'm used to recording on my phone all the time. So I sang for him. I was inside my bathroom, I remember, and he was like, "Why are you in the bathroom?" It was really awkward. But anyway, after I got done singing, he started asking me questions about myself. So I'm like, this may be a good thing because this has never happened. Nobody's ever like asked me anything after I sang. So he asked me about my job, blah, blah, blah. And he basically said, like, really nonchalant, he was like, I'm going to go ahead and send you to the next round, which is called the winner circle. And I was like, okay, like, really? What is that? Like, I was confused because I didn't know what it was. I've heard about the winner circle, but I didn't really know, like, how important it was. And I didn't know how important the people in the winner circle were. Like, I didn't know Megan was the person I would be singing for. I didn't even know her name back then. But when I went inside I actually think they wanted me to go right after that Zoom call. But after the first Zoom call, I kind of like hung up and called my sisters, like freaking out, like, oh my God, this is happening. And then I got an email saying, like, we're considering you for a celebrity judges audition. So I was like, what the heck is going on right now? So then I finally hopped back on Zoom, and then they put me in the breakout room with the executive producers. And I was kind of freaking out, even though I didn't know how important it was. I was like still freaking out because it was like multiple producers. So I started singing, and I was surprised I made it through the first one because I cracked and it just sounded really bad, but it actually sounded really good on the second one. So when I got that singing, she basically told me, she was like, we're gonna circle back around and then we'll contact you within 2 weeks with our decision. So I was like, okay. I felt really good about it because I didn't know how it worked. So I felt good about the audition. I thought I was gonna make it on the show. So when I said 2 weeks, the 2-week mark passed. I was checking my email every second of the day. I'm like, maybe it's a no. So I remember it was about a month and a half later. I was at work and I was about to go on break. So I was getting my phone, clocking out to go on break, and I look at my phone and it's an email notification, and it said American Idol at the top. So I'm like, this looks really familiar. I don't want to assume anything. So I'm reading it. You know how they have like a preview of the email on the home screen? So I'm literally reading it, and it said, unfortunately, and I started breaking down crying at work. And I'm like, oh my God, I cannot do this anymore. I literally went home and cried my eyes out. Didn't sing for a really, really long time, meaning probably like a couple of weeks. But yeah, I was really sad. And I was like, as long as they didn't announce that it's their last season, like I have another chance. So this was in September. They were holding auditions up until November in 2020 for Zoom. So I was like, I'm gonna register for another one. So that's when the things like really started that I kept auditioning. So I signed up. I don't even know how many times. It was so many. And I remember it was like the beginning of November when that was my final audition. And I got an email a couple of weeks later saying, unfortunately, the bar set high and you won't be moving forward. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try out next year. So I watched the show. I studied how it went, blah, blah. In 2021, I actually was able to there was a producer who posted on Instagram that he was holding private auditions. So I reached out to him and I was like, what did I say? I don't even know. I think we had to send our email, our name, blah blah to him. So then he set up a private audition for anyone who reached out to him. I think this was in July of 2020, June of 2021. We had to audition for him first. So it wasn't right to the executive producers. So when I sang for him, I sang You Broke Me First by Tate McRae. And I also sang Figures by Jessie Reyes. And Figures is actually a song I sang in 2020, but I didn't make it. So when I sang for this particular producer in 2021, he basically moved to the next round. But this wasn't the executive producer round. It was a supervising producer round. So I was like, okay, like, I think I got it. So I sang for her. And I didn't hear anything back. So it was a while before I heard anything back. So I finally signed up for Idol Across America. And it was a billion times that year too. 2022 was when everything changed. I think I had the same producer from 2021 who's tried to set up a private audition with me. It was the same producer I auditioned for the same way in 2022, last year. I sang for him and I didn't hear anything back for a while. So I'm like, okay, that's it. Like I literally said, that is it. I'm done auditioning for American Idol. So I auditioned for The Voice. Okay.
Oh wow.
I auditioned for The Voice in June of 2022. And it was very weird because I auditioned for The Voice before, made it to the very last round before the blind auditions, and didn't make it. So in 2022, I auditioned and I knew how the process worked. It was online too. Because of COVID, they started doing everything online. So I knew how the process worked. So when I sent in the audition, they emailed me back. And this was the first time thing. They emailed me back and said, we couldn't see or hear you, so can you resend it? I was like, well, that's weird. I don't know what's happening. So I literally sent a video into The Voice. Never heard anything. Even to this day, I have not heard back from The Voice. So I was like, maybe I should do American Idol one more time. And that is when they announced the dates for Idol Across America. And it was August 3rd. That was the first 500. So I guess it was like a VIP thing. Like the first 500 to sign up, you get to instantly see a producer. So I was kind of just like, I'm kind of on the fence. I'm still going to sign up just in case. I was not anticipating this audition because I'm like, it's just gonna be another no. So the closer it got to the audition date, the closer I kind of just became more nonchalant about it. Didn't try to think of any songs to sing or anything. So it was the day of my audition, and I kind of had this thought like, oh crap, I have American Idol audition. So I walked to work at the time. So I was walking home from work, like, should I really do this? So I bought some food home from work and I was sitting on my couch, like, just contemplating it. Because I'm like, I'm going through a lot right now. Do I really want another rejection to add on to what I'm already going through? So I was eating on the couch and something just kept fooling me. So I don't know, go audition. So I kept just going back and forth for myself, and I finally stopped eating. It was like 4:15. My audition was set for 4 o'clock. I was late. I didn't really care, honestly. I put on this random shirt. I was having a bad hair day. I put on this beanie. I think y'all saw it on TV where they showed my Island Across America thing. Yeah, I just put on the most random stuff, and I logged into Zoom, set up my tripod, my piano, my kitchen table, and I waited a really long time to see a producer, and I was about to leave. Like, I was really about to leave because it had never taken me that long to see producers. I was like, maybe I should just not do it. So I ended up staying, and I finally get inside of a room with the producer, and it was a lady I had never seen before. So I auditioned like a billion times, and I thought I saw every single producer, but this time it was a lady I had never seen before or never auditioned for. So she was a really nice lady, and I wasn't nervous because I'm like, I don't care about doing American Idol anymore. So I wasn't nervous. And she asked me what I was gonna sing. I had no clue. Like, I literally had no clue. But the first thing that came to my mind was "You Broke Me First" by Tate McRae. So I sang that, and then she asked me for another song, and then I sang "Paparazzi" by Lady Gaga. Then she asked me for another song, and then I sang "Hearts Don't Break Around Here" by Ed Sheeran. The most random songs you could ever think of. So I was literally trying to find my key as I was on Zoom. She was like, you can sing a cappella if you want. I was like, no, I'll just try to find my key real quick. It was really bad. But after I got done singing, she basically said the same thing as the guy said in 2020. She just said, like, so nonchalant, like, hey, I'm going to send you to the winner circle. And I was like, okay. Like, I was actually getting excited. Like, I actually cared again. So I actually went, like, straight to the winner circle Zoom this time instead of just, like, logging off and getting back on what I want. So I went to the winner circle, and it was the same producers that I saw in 2020. And I was really scared because I heard other people's stories about how the winner circle is really important, and Megan is the person who chooses who goes on the show. So I'm like, oh crap, like, what am I supposed to do? I'm scared now. Like, I don't know if I sound good enough. I didn't practice. So I got inside the winner circle, and first of all, I had to fill out this really long questionnaire thing before actually going inside the Zoom. After I got done doing that, I went in there, and it was really awkward. I think my phone was like turned sideways. So we had a whole tutorial on how to make my phone, like, I don't know. It was really awkward, and it was just really cringe, and I don't ever want to go through that again. But then they ended up telling me, like, I was singing sitting down first. I sang all three of my songs, and the producer actually told me before, she was like, do Paparazzi a cappella because the guitar was drowning out your voice. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to play the guitar on that one. So I only sang 2 songs, I think, for the executive producers. And I was singing sitting down, so they ended up telling me, like, can you prop your phone up somewhere? And I was like, I hope so. Like, I don't know how to work this tripod. I actually just got the tripod at the time, and I was like, I don't know how to work this thing. So I finally stood my phone up, and what she said to me was, she said, sing to us like you're singing in front of the judges. And I was like, okay. I was getting excited, but I still didn't want to get my hopes up. So I was like, okay, cool. So I started singing, and, like, they were nodding. So I was like, this is good. This is good. So after I got done singing, they started talking to me. So I'm like, oh my God, they're talking. Like, this must be a good thing. But I still didn't want to get my hopes up. So I was staying calm, ended up crying my eyes out because they kept asking me deep questions. And I was like, oh my God, I hope this is, like, not being recorded right now. It was. being recorded, but thank God nobody saw it. So then it ended up being like a really, I feel like it was a short Zoom call, maybe 10 minutes with the executive producers. And long story short, at the end, she was like, oh, this is what she told me, Bennett. It was really weird. And I kind of had a clue what was about to happen, but I didn't really. So she basically was like, how many times do you think you auditioned for Idol? And I was like, a lot. Like, I'm embarrassed to say. It was a lot. And she was like, just guess, like an estimate. I was like, 15. And she's like, how many times have you gotten told no? I was like, 15. So she was like, look at the camera and say it like there's a camera in front of you in a full sentence. So I was like, that's what they showed on TV. That's when I was like, I've auditioned for American Idol 15 times and I've gotten told no 15 times. And then she was like, guess what? And I was like, what? It's a yes today.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the craziest moment of my life. I didn't know how to react. I think I started crying. It was so ugly. Yeah, it's been a long journey.
Wow. It's funny because you're on the 100th episode. Did it feel like it took 100 years to get to the point?
I feel like it took eternity for me to finally get a yes.
What's been going on since the show?
So between December, it was filmed in December, and it aired the beginning of April. I was actually fine a week after being eliminated. Because I just kept like talking my feelings out to my fellow contestants, and they understood me, and I understood them. Made me feel a lot better. But once it kind of got closer to the air date of my Hollywood, I was excited on social media because that's what we're supposed to do, be excited on social media about our performances and everything. But like on the inside, I was like, holy crap, I don't want this to be shown. My job doesn't know what happened. Some of my family doesn't know. Some of my friends don't know. Like, this is going to be really embarrassing. So I think maybe like a week up until my performance was aired, I was really going through it. Like, I was really going through it. I was like, I'm probably going to hide from the world forever after this performance because it was so ugly. And I kind of knew that it was going to be shown that way in a montage. Like, I kind of knew. I wasn't told how it was going to be shown or anything. I just had a feeling. So when it was aired, I was actually very terrible mentally. Like, right after it was aired, I was fine. Like, I got on live. I started talking to people. Like, I was telling everybody, like, I'm okay. I'm fine. A couple of days later, actually didn't go back to work. I actually flew out to Nashville a couple of days later. And when I got back, I'm like, okay, I'm back to reality. I'm back in my hometown where people saw my face on TV. The last time I saw my face, I sounded terrible. Like, what am I going to do? People recognize me at my job, coming through the line. I work at Chick-fil-A. So people recognize me on TV all the time. Like, I was scared, like genuinely scared. So I was really, really going through it when I got back to work. Kept telling everybody I was fine. But I would literally cry every single second. I was dreading going back in public because it was really hard to watch. And it was really hard to know that the people who were closest to me actually saw that on TV. Some of the people who were closest to me saw that on TV, and I'm like, because they didn't reach out after I announced I was eliminated, I was like, maybe they're embarrassed that they know me. Like, that's just what I was telling myself, and I was just saying all these things, and it made me feel worse. Yeah. But right now, I can say I am very well.
Yes.
I see myself growing in ways that I never thought. And I know that by the time I'm ready to go back to Idol, no matter when it is, I will be at least 80% ready. Maybe not 100, at least 80%. So I'm feeling really confident about that because I have something to look forward to. So yeah, I'm okay. I'm still posting online. I said I'm never going to post a singing video ever again after that was shown. Ended up posting the same night that it was shown. So I think I'm growing. I think I'm doing really, really good. So yeah.
Any music, recording stuff, releases, anything like that in the works?
I actually don't even know how to be inside of a recording studio. I don't even know what that's like. I've never in my life done anything like that. So the only thing you can look out for is Instagram cover. At least for right now. Who knows what the future holds?
if when that stuff blows up, I mean, you could get in that studio because, I mean, I'm telling you, look at all these people that just start with that and then they get signed TikTok or I don't even know. I don't want to act like I know how it works, but I want to hear you sing because you're going to do a performance for us. So what song are you thinking?
It's actually like a song that's not popular to my knowledge. It's called Where I Belong. So I'm gonna do Where I Belong by Tori Kelly. It's a song that I was gonna sing for Hollywood, but I chickened out because I didn't think I would nail it. So I'm gonna sing that.
What does this song mean to you? Like, what do you like so much about it?
So when I was searching for a song to sing for Hollywood, I wanted a song that matched my story. Although I changed the song, this song was perfect because it's kind of talking about how I let fear get in the way, but it's where I'm at now is where I belong, and I kind of just wanted to send a message out saying like I belong here, even though I feel like I don't. I belong at American Idol, no matter what happens. That's why I chose the song. When I heard the lyrics, I was like, "This is perfect. I'm not singing anything else." Of course, it didn't go like that, but yeah.
And also, you picked a song by an American Idol alumni.
I know I'm in love with Tori Kelly. I love her, and you know, I feel like I can nail her songs behind my iPhone camera, but probably not in front of 3 celebrity judges. At least right now, not right now.
Maybe that's a song choice if you go on another season.
Maybe we'll see.
People got to stay tuned and follow you and watch your covers and stay tuned for any updates because you never know. Time flies. If you're on another season, they'll want to hear about that. Where can people go to follow you and stay tuned for info?
My TikTok and my Instagram is Ashley Tankard Music. ASHLEYTANKARD Music. And I think that's really all people care about, TikTok and Instagram. And I also have a Facebook just under my name that you can go follow because I post updates on there too.
It's fun seeing you on Clark Beckham's channel. We love Clark, right?
Oh my God, I love Clark! Clark, if you're watching this, which you're probably not, but if you're watching this, I love you. Oh my God, and I love being a member on your YouTube channel. I literally have the time of my life every time watching American Idol with you.
Yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this conversation, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and TikTok, Idol Unaired Podcast. If you haven't already, please subscribe wherever you are listening or watching. If you enjoyed, leave a comment, review, let us know how we're doing, tell a friend. 100 episodes, here's to the next 100, hopefully. Ashley, it's been an honor that you were part of our 100th episode.
I'm so excited. That has made me the happiest. Oh my God.
Oh, well, thank you so much for being a part of American Idol Unaired. It was so much fun.
I'm just a girl with her guitar, trying to give you my whole heart. If there's anybody out there listening to me, all I have is a story and a dream. Here I am, and this is all that I can be. You know I forget to breathe sometimes, 'cause I'm afraid to fall behind. Why do I let depression take over my mind when I know the truth is never wrong? I'm alright, and this is right.